Welcome to CEO Money. I'm Michael Yorba. Thanks for joining with us. I have Dennis O'Neill, CEO of O'Neill Capital Advisors, on the show with me today. Dennis, thanks for being a guest on the show today.
Thank you, Michael. But I'm actually representing Digimax.Global. I'm the new Chief Investment Officer of Digimax Global, which is a publicly traded company out of Canada on the Canadian Stock Exchange under the symbol DIGI.
Congratulations. I'm sure you are going to lead them into the 21st and 22nd century. All right, talk to me about Digimax Global. Give us an idea who they are, what they do, for those that don't already know. And then I want to catch up on those recent travels you had in Asia.
Sure. Digimax Global is an investment bank that focuses on STOs and IEOs, which are initial exchange offerings in the crypto space market. It's a 100% compliant platform. They have a global reach. They have attended, our team has attended over 100 conferences globally, building the brand. We will be hopefully approved next week to be a licensed broker-dealer in Canada. We have signed 9 global partnerships, which are everywhere from the UK to Hong Kong to Singapore, all over the world, which we plan on turning into Digimax.Global brokerage firms. And we've just recently signed 4 new investment banks. So what we are is the one-stop shop for funding for STOs or IEOs. What we're focused on a later stage type of companies that have high quality management teams, that have product that's actually generating some revenue, that has a good business model, that has fair valuations, because primarily, our funding comes from institutional investors, and they come. I mean, it's a global reach. We pretty much everywhere around the globe, we have investors that we are well networked in and well respected, and that we have very, very close relationships with.
Okay, I'm sure I want to be hearing from those guys more as we go forward with you on this project. But tell me about the recent travels you've had in Asia.
Okay, sure. I was in Asia for 2.5 months. I visited Thailand, Vietnam, Hong Kong, and Singapore. I attended several cryptocurrency or crypto conferences, tokenomics in Thailand. 10 times in Thailand. I went to the Blockchain Week in Hong Kong. I attended the Binance conference in Singapore. And I mean, these countries are just absolutely beautiful countries. They're beautiful to see. But what's most impressive is that they are probably at least a year to 2 years ahead of the U.S. markets for cryptocurrencies and STOs. These countries are embracing these markets. Hong Kong and Singapore are the global hubs for cryptocurrency investing right now, and that Thailand and Vietnam are rapidly emerging markets. I did run into quite a few people from Europe, and Europe is really, really evolving quickly as far as being major players in the cryptocurrency space or the crypto markets. In fact, the EU is approving the STO regulations. They go into effect July 21st. Unfortunately, here in the United States, we have zero regulations and zero framework and zero prep done so far. But the good news is that we have NASDAQ has just recently has listed 3 cryptocurrency index funds on NASDAQ, which is huge. The floodgates are starting to open here. The chairman of the CFTC said there's an explosion of interest today in an article for the crypto market. So we're starting to see, the floodgates open here. I think these markets here in the United States are rapidly evolving and maturing, and I think that we're getting to a place to where that there's probably been over 20 or 30 STOs done here in the United States so far, so that it's really starting to get a foothold here. And for the first time ever, the SEC approved a crypto company called Blockstack. So out of the hundreds, if not thousands, of applications that they received, we finally got an official approval from the SEC.
Do you think that the United States will be able to take what's happening in Asia and Europe as a template and be able to catch up by using some of the knowledge that's already been put to practice in Asia and Europe here?
Yeah. Obviously, they're very, very gun shy. I mean, they're really worried about getting it right. So, I mean, maybe that those are the canaries in the coal mine to see what can happen. Unfortunately, where we're at right now is that if you're a very, very large company, or if you are a well-positioned financed company, these companies seem to be moving forward easily. The
like
small
Fidelity,
mid-market.
Isn't Fidelity a big mover in this area?
They're actually partnered with a company that I know, but that it escapes my memory right now. I mean, what's happening right now is that all these STOs are happening in the United States, and they're using Reg D offerings. So I guess that's passing the sniff test, because they're allowing these security token offerings to happen here, utilizing a Reg D offering. And then they've approved some exchanges like T0, which are STO exchanges. So we're starting to see, you have to understand the whole thing is that we had these traditional markets. These traditional markets were, very, very inefficient. I mean, basically, there was, after the crash of the 2001, 2008, everybody lost trust in the banks and the brokerage firms, and because they were inept, ineffective, corrupt, and sometimes outright fraudulent. What happens when you're doing an STO and with utilizing blockchain is that these transactions happen almost immediately, opposed to like a 3-day settlement with a traditional security. And you don't have to go to a broker, through a brokerage firm, through a market maker, through a clearing firm, through DTC, through a transfer to get a transaction done. All those guys are going to be gone because they're with blockchain utilizing STOs. It is peer-to-peer, immediate transactions. Worst case scenario, it might take an hour or two to settle, but most of them settle immediately. So that's the appeal for these markets, is that it kills the bloated middleman, and it allows companies and investors to not have to pay all these exorbitant fees in the middle. And not only that, but a lot of criminal activity happens between when you buy a stock and when it settles, and there's all kinds of mischief that happens. And unfortunately, that a lot of that is a blind eye is looked at by the SEC towards a lot of those activities, like illegal naked shorting.
Yeah, that's just one of them. Yeah, I'm familiar with a lot of them. I'm not going to drag down the interview with talking about the horror stories, but let's move forward. All right, we only have a little bit of time left. I wanted to talk about your concept of the future for STOs.
Sure. I think that STOs are the future. I mean, obviously, they're a faster, cheaper, safer, 100% transparent way of doing business, and it has an immutable ledger. And the immutable ledger means that it's a digital ledger that can never be changed. So nobody can go back and cook the books. So, and everything is transparent. So everybody sees every transaction as it's happening in real time. So the idea here is that if you're looking for fairness in the marketplace and efficiencies in the marketplace, and to maximize and optimize transactions so that they can happen fast, cheap, and 100% transparent, where the with 1,000% higher safety, I think that the whole market is going to evolve to these STOs. And there's different types of STOs. I mean, there's asset-backed STOs, which are real estate and things of that sort. And then there's companies that are STOs. And basically an STO represents either a percentage of the company, a percentage of the profits, a percentage of the revenue. And it gives you all the traditional attributes of a traditional investment. You have, complete, you get accountability, you get transparency, you get shareholder rights. So you get, it looks more like traditional private equity, venture capital, and publicly traded stocks, but without the bloated middlemen in the middle, and that slow up everything and increase costs significantly.
Got it. All right, Dennis, you're off to Malta next.
Yeah, I mean, I think I might make a stop to New York Blockchain Week. I'm 50-50 on that right now. But yeah, I mean, obviously, all my efforts right now are behind being the Chief Investment Officer for Digimax.global.
Right.
We have 4 clients right now that are Premier, LDX, Alpha, FinTech, MedDoctor, and Twism. And you can see them on digimax.global.com. And I think that great things are going to be happening. We have this big global, this huge global network, and going to start leveraging that network to do a multitude of financings as we move forward.
All right, Dennis, we got to run, but come to Dallas. I want to show you a good time.
Okay, sounds good. I'll be out there shortly.
All right, thanks.
Thank you so much, Michael.
All right, you've been watching CEO Money with Michael Yorba. Thanks for joining with us. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and subscribe to our YouTube channel.